Have a mic. Hey, you can hear me now, I think. I thought that I had unmuted my mic, and apparently I hadn't. So, okay. Uh, there we go. All right, welcome in. Today is a little bit, I'm going to repeat what I just said because, since you guys didn't hear me, I'm not imagining that you guys are lip readers or anything. So, yeah, let's go over this again. Um, so today we're a little bit on the stormy side. So there could be a little bit of slippage or, lag. We could have a full dropout possible. I was able to get hold of my ISP yesterday, but not like an actual person. It was the AI bot. So theoretically, I should, or like we went through all of their little AI troubleshooting stuff. So theoretically, it should fix everything. And if not, on Monday, they're getting a very angry call from me because I'm just tired of fighting this internet thing. And it's not just the stream that's suffering. It's like when I'm streaming, TV or video games, stuff like that. It's just my entire ISP. So if this hasn't fixed it, it's going to they're going to get a very angry phone call. I might have to pull out the Karen. Welcome in, Alexis. Hey, Yankee. Welcome to the stream. So I do have a hard out at 5 p.m. Eastern, U.S. time, and that is because I am going to be going to Indiana. Fingers crossed, my partner gets home from work at a relatively early time today. But once he gets home from work around 6 p.m. Eastern time, we are going to be leaving to go to Indiana for the Indiana Blacksmith Association conference. So I will be streaming from the conference tomorrow. I'm going to try and stick to our 1:30 time slot for that. So we're getting an extra stream tomorrow. And so I just want to show you the dealer floor and talk to some people. We'll see what we can come up with. I do have an idea, but I have to discuss it with my partner. I have this idea of like there in at the BAM conference there was a vendor who tried to sell me a uh, a rivet forge that needed a little bit of love, and I thought that would be a really interesting series of like Twitch streams and YouTube videos, me fixing up a piece of equipment that I bought out of the tailgate sale. So I got to talk to my partner about it and see, what kind of money we've got. But I would love to do that. I think that would be so much fun, restoring a piece of anvil equipment or a piece of blacksmithing equipment. So we've got an ad incoming. And then, so once that ad is done, I'll start talking about like what is happening today. And so I'm really looking forward to getting started today. I do have two other things that I wanted to show you guys that I've been working on for a little while. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited about them. The first one is I made a business card, and I don't think you guys can see it from that one. Hello, hello. If I do this though, you guys might be able to see it. Maybe. So this is my business card. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It might just be like a little bit small for my screen. But yeah, it's got my name and, the channel name and where the channels are. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've got those so that we can hand them out at the conference. Whoops. Because a lot of people were asking who I was and like where my streams were and things like that at the BAM conference. And I really didn't have anything to give them. So I figured I would make myself a card, and that way people can find us, find the community, and join in on the fun. So I'm really excited about that. And then I have one other thing. Nice. Always good to direct traffic in person. Exactly. Right. And The other thing that I'm really, really excited about is I finished our our soapstone holder, and because I for the video, I needed a finished picture of it for a video that is coming out next week. So this is the soapstone holder that we started on I believe it was Friday before. Um, what day was it? It had to have been 2 weeks ago Friday. And so I'm really excited about that. I think that's really neat and really nice looking. So yeah, here is the soapstone holder. I'll, turn it on so you guys can see a little bit closer. So yeah, this is kind of how it works. And if I pull this, it's got just enough spring to it that I can get the chalk in and out of it. So, but it holds it really nice and steady in there so that, I can do all the drawing and stuff. So I'm really excited about that too. And within the next few weeks, I will be posting the video of me making this since I was so interrupted by the internet when I tried to make this. Well done, no rattles or anything. Yeah. It's so nice to like remind myself that I'm not actually a terrible blacksmith. I mean, I'm not a terrible blacksmith, but I'm actually pretty good when I put my mind to it. Sometimes I forget because a lot of what we do together, it's like I know how to do it and I can tell you how to do it. But when I'm so distracted by the internet and the cameras and, answering questions, sometimes some of like the really basic stuff just like slips my mind. It's like when you're doing live stuff, all of your mistakes, it kind of adds up. And so I was really excited to be able to get something that I really like and I think looks good. So yeah. And I mean, I still do stuff that I like and I think look good here on the stream. It's just, you know, a little bit of zen when I'm alone here. So today we do have I'm not just gonna sit here and talk all day, although that would be fun too. Today we're actually going to take a look at this kit. And what this is a rose kit. And this is something that you guys may have been able to see on the dealer floor of the BAM convention. So basically what this is these are a bunch of flat sheet steel. And they are in the shape of petals for a flower. And then it's got like the little leaves for the bud of the flower. And so this is like a whole kit and it was laser cut out. So I've had this one for a really long time. I actually got it at the Upper Midwest Blacksmith Conference several years ago, but I've never had a chance to play with it. So I figured, let's play. We'll see how it works. So let's see. I'm going to take the maybe. I'm going to take the little, I don't know, what, zip tie? Is that what this is? A zip tie? Off of it. And we're going to take a look at this kit. So here I'll be able to show you guys a little bit. Okay, so this is like, I don't know, it looks kind of like a ninja star, but this is the bottom piece. This is the green section of the bud of a rose. So that's going on the bottom. And then this is the smallest section of petals. And it looks like we've got a medium-sized petal. So, we've got really small and we've got, a little bit bigger. And then this guy is a little bit bigger and it looks like we have 4 of these cut petals. So that's going to be really cool. So what we are going to do, we're going to turn this into a rose. And so I've got a piece of 6-inch long, 1/2-inch diameter round stock, and we're going to turn this into a stem for the rose, and then we're going to stack all of these up. So this is going to be the bottom, and then the tall, or like the biggest one, and then the medium-sized one, and then the smallest one. And we're going to heat all of this up after we rivet it on here, and we're going to turn this into a rose. So that's the goal today. And so I'm actually looking forward to this. I think it'll be fun. So the first things first, the first thing we always have to do is let's start the forge. I really tried starting to do this project on Wednesday, and I had like absolutely no internet connection whatsoever. And so I was up for a grand total of like 10 minutes. Wait, before I do this, let's put this guy back in here. I always try and start with this wedge in there. There we go. Stay. All right. Those are some nice pieces. Plenty thick sheet. It's going to be a nice to work with. It definitely will be nice to work with. This is actually a pretty thick piece of sheet. This is about 1/8 inch in thickness, and so that's probably about 3 millimeters, somewhere in that general estimation. And so it's relatively thick. Normally, when I make my roses like from scratch, I use a much thinner sheet metal because I feel like the thinner the sheet metal, the more realistic the petals tend to look, in my opinion. And I mean, I'm the artist, so that's the only opinion that matters, right? At least for mine. Anyway, let me grab my headphones so I can hear myself. Just an FYI, not promotion, but a good blacksmith resource. Blacksmithingblanks.com or Christ-Centered Ironworks, same place. Hundreds of blanks, great pieces, and Thomas always packs freebies in the boxes. Yeah, I've seen Christ-Centered Blacksmithing on YouTube. He makes some decent videos. If you're looking for more blacksmiths to watch on YouTube. So, and I mean, as long as you've got the right idea when you are promoting other blacksmiths, I don't mind. As long as you're not like, oh, don't watch Ray's Smithy, go watch this instead. I mean, other people's success is not my detriment. I want to support other blacksmiths and other creators as well. So, as long as you're not, dissing on me, feel free to promote other people. But yes, there are plenty of places that do kits like these. This one, like I said, I bought from someone who, or a member of the Upper Midwest Blacksmith Association, probably about 7 years ago. So this has actually been sitting in my shop for quite some time. They gave it to me as a free sample, and they also gave me a dragonfly and a butterfly blank. So, I mean, I know that I've seen a few videos where Christ-Centered Blacksmith has a few different blanks, like hearts and crosses and things like that. So, if you're looking for blanks, that might be a good place. With your jewelry background, I imagine thinner sheet works great. I am always afraid of getting too many kinks and wrinkles in thin sheet. Yeah. Was just trying to Jedi mind trick us. This is not the blacksmith you're looking for. Yeah. So yeah, I actually, like, in my career as a metal worker, I started with steel fabrication first. And then, but at the same time, I quickly moved to silversmithing. And when I say silversmithing, I'm not really talking about jewelry. What I'm actually talking about is making vessels out of silver and, copper, brass, bronze, things like that, right? So I take discs of semi-precious and precious material, and I take flat discs and turn them into, like, vessels. So this one is not mine. Let me show you one. So this is not one of mine. This is a store-bought manufactured one. This is actually plated. Sterling silver, it's not solid, but when I started metalworking, I was making things like this, right? So I'm very handy with sheet metal. So I guess the thinner sheet like that, like I like to use for my pedals, I guess I'm just so used to using it. It's really easy to burn it if you're using a coal forge, but when you are on, your gas forge, you really don't have too terribly much to worry about with that. Um, any sheet though, this included, when you stick it into the gas forge like that, it's going to develop really large pieces of scale that's going to come right off of that. So you're going to lose several layers of the outer edge of this guy. So you want to be a little bit on the careful side. We are actually going to do a little bit of modifying these pedals before we rivet them onto the stem. What I want to do is I want to heat this up, and then I want to take a cross-peen hammer, and I want to actually hammer vertically along these pedals, so kind of like this. And what that's going to do is it's going to kind of give it a little bit of a wrinkle. And I think that's going to give it a little bit more of a realistic look to these pedals. So that is, that's the plan for the moment. We'll see how much time we have. Like I said, I do have a hard out at 5 o'clock Eastern. I always have to translate that because I'm in Central U.S. time, and nobody really cares about Central. It's like Eastern and Pacific, but nobody cares about Mountain and Central time. So I try to translate to Eastern because that's the closest one. So 5 p.m. Eastern is my hard out. If we do not finish this rose in time for that, I will finish it off on Monday. I am going to definitely need a chill stream on Monday because tomorrow is just going to be exhausting. We're going to be at the conference all day, and then once the conference ends and they start doing like the overnight, like the business meeting and the auctions and things like that, we're going to head home. So we'll be home around 10 p.m. my time tomorrow. So that's just going to be exhausting. Good evening, Sandwich. Good evening. 5 p.m. Eastern is 2300 CEST. So that would be 24 hours. So that would be what, 10 p.m. CEST? That's kind of on the late side, for me at least. That's about my bedtimes. So, yeah. Yes. Oh, it's 11 p.m. Okay. My math, my brain, sometimes it doesn't function quite as well as I want it to nowadays. That's why I'm a blacksmith and not an engineer. I don't have to be quite as precise. I can kind of hand off my work a little bit to, the engineers, and they can kind of make sure it works. Oh, that's because it's over here. I think 24-hour time is not as common over there. Yeah, so really the only, like, there's a couple businesses that will use 24-hour time, but for the most part, like in the US, we actually call that military time because, I mean, the military is pretty much the only institution in the United States that uses that as its standard. So, I have to do math and it's kind of, brains. But yeah, and I mean, I did at one point work at a business or an establishment that did use military time, or I guess 24-hour time, as its standard. And I swear, I really tried, but there were a couple days where I was like an hour early or an hour late because my brain does not calculate that very well. Don't need to math when you have a hammer. Exactly. I heard that. Here it is the standard. All clocks around me on the computer or real show 2050 now. I see. Interesting. So that means it would be what, 8 p.m.? Almost 9, I think. If my brain might be starting to warm up a little. But yeah, I was so this week has been kind of a little bit brain frazzling for me because I've spent most of the most of the week getting ready for Indiana this weekend. And so I spent all day on Tuesday making business cards and then working on a website. I really wanted to have a website to put on the card, and I got it almost there, but there's a few things I want to add before I publish it. So do look for that soon. I will be publishing a website in the near future. It actually has embeds for both the Twitch and the YouTube channel. So, I mean, if you want a one-stop shop, it's all there. Um, right, close to 9 p.m. So yeah, and then I haven't been able to publish that just yet, but that was all day Tuesday, which is normally when I do my short form videos for the next week. So I do my editing for my long form ones a week in advance, so I have a little bit of play time with those. So I did not get a video done for next week, and I really thought that I wasn't going to be able to have one at all. But I was able to actually, because I did not have a stream on Wednesday, I started and made a video. So I just finished it this morning. So time is a little loopy for me because, when you're hardcore editing, it's like time doesn't have to be linear anymore. You can kind of take, the future and put it in the past. I kind of, it's kind of like I'm a time god when I'm editing video footage. So, if I'm getting your time zone conversions wrong, I'm gonna blame it on that. All right, let's take a look at this metal. Let's see if we've got plenty of. Okay, we do. All right, so the first thing, I'm gonna put these over here so that they're out of the way and they're not falling all over the floor. And we're gonna take a look at our piece right here. Okay, it's still a little on the cold side, but that's all right. All right, we're kind of squaring this off. And the reason we're squaring it off is because it's going to make it a lot harder for it to roll around in the forge and in my tongs. So I think I might actually spin this around and drop it on the floor, Spin this around so I've got little corners that I can grab a hold of. Now we're going to put this back on the forge and we're going to focus on this side. It's not because you failed to convert or anything. From the point of view of such a powerful position, time is simply not a factor. Exactly, you know? Time doesn't matter because I could just move it around. It is especially convenient when I start a sentence and leave it hanging and then finish it off like really later, or if I say the thing that I want to say at a different point in time. So I really like it that I can take a line that I like and stick it under visuals that I like, you know? I don't have to take things as it is. I started dreaming about video editing yesterday. It was, or like last night. It was kind of unnerving, actually. I have this thing where I start if I've done an action too recently before I go to bed, I will start dreaming about that action. So like if I work really late, and when I used to work in retail, I would dream about checking people out, or cooking food, or whatever I was doing that day. And sometimes when I stay up too late gaming, I'll dream about the game. So yeah, last night I dreamt about video editing. So, well, since time is a construct of humans and as a time god, you'd understand. You don't understand that, yes. Drop forged, exactly, man. We're drop forging this rose. We're gonna have some fun today. So once that other side heats up, what we're going to do is we are going to draw out the stem. I want it to be a really long, skinny stem, and I'm thinking that I want some kinks in it. So I don't want like a straight stem. I kind of want a little zigzag in it, because I don't necessarily want to cut in thorns, but I almost want to suggest that thorns might exist on it, as more of a abstract sort of feeling. So that's where my head is on this stem. So we'll see what we can do. Partner, ouch! This is the 8th time you're hitting me with your fist now. Sorry, still dreaming of blacksmithing. Exactly, I got that hammer, that muscle memory of that hammering, It's all right, though. My partner has some interesting dreams, too. So, it's like, my partner also does a lot of editing and video shooting. So, if he's moving in his sleep, he's like, doing the, what is it? The, grabbing from here and putting it there. Like, what is it? Inception? No, not Inception. It's Minority Report. He's doing the Minority Report stuff. That would be so cool to have monitors, like AR monitors, augmented reality, where you can just like, move your windows around in your view. That would be a really cool thing. I mean, they have that kind of with Google Glass, but I kind of feel like nobody really wanted to wear the Google Glasses. All right. I'm going to turn on the record function on these cameras. And then I am going to start doing insets. The last rose I tried was a one-piece Russian rose out of titanium. Broke it in half when I started to roll it up. Ooh. Yeah. That would be annoying because, I mean, titanium is so, so expensive. All right, I'm going to put the inset of me down in the corner under the horn of the anvil, and hopefully you guys can see what's going on. I would hate to waste titanium. All right, we're getting rid of this brick really, really early in the stream today because it's getting in my way already. Here we are. This is kind of thick, so I'm not going to be able to do the tip of that taper in one heat. So I'm going to heat this back up and we're going to try it again. Well, there are large touch screens, this is pretty close. For smaller screens, also from an ergonomic point of view, there is a lot to be said for a mouse. Yeah, that is true. That's very true. Alexis says it was 10 millimeters by 100 millimeter round that I flattened out. It cost me like $40. Yeah, that relatively expensive for titanium. And I've seen a few of those one-piece Russian roses. They are so interesting. I think that I mean I've seen videos of it, but I've never seen it actually done in real life. But so cool. One of these days, when I have the proper dies for my press, we might take a look and see if we can't pull that off. I feel like I would have to use the coal forge for it though, because I just can't get enough heat out of this propane forge. So you know, I'll make sure that I get lots and lots of heat in that coal forge. But yeah, who was I? What was he making? I was watching a video the other day that Alex Steele put out, and I think he put it out a while ago. So I don't know if because they've been suggesting, or YouTube has been suggesting a whole bunch of really old Alex Steele videos for me, and there was one where he was making a titanium axe. And he broke a whole bunch of it when he was like trying to put the bit in, and it was really interesting watching working with titanium, because it's just not something that I've ever been able to like extensively work with. Now, when I was a jeweler, they have titanium men's rings, and sometimes I got to play with those a little bit, but we were never allowed to size them. The only thing I was able to do with them is texture them. So if somebody wanted like a hammer texture or anything like that, I would put that on there. Or if they wanted like a sanded texture or sandblasted texture, I was able to do those, but I was never able to do any like metal movement on them, if that makes sense. I would have loved to actually play with it though. I had a friend who was experimenting with anodizing titanium. He passed away several years ago, and so I never really got to see the results of that. I think I'm going to pull a different set of tongs, not those, these, so that I can get a better, hang on to the piece a little bit better. We might pull those out again later, especially if we're doing the petals for the flowers. And it looks like right now we are going through an ad. So once that's done, I will pull the piece out of the forge again, and we'll keep on working on that taper. Ads. Yep, ads. I've got OBS up, and I also have an instance of Chrome up. So far, Everything seems to be relatively stable. Knock on wood, I'm not going to think that, or I'm not going to say that it's going to stay stable, but for the moment it's stable. So I'm able to see both. So I am able to catch when the ads start. Don't goldsmiths use hydrogen flames for titanium? I think the generators are called hydrozone. There are hydrogen torches that you can buy. My shop where I worked did not have one. We did have like an oxypropane torch that we would use for platinum. So because normally what we would solder with would be oxygen and natural gas, which is it's a mixture of a couple different gases in the United States. It's not a true propane though. Propane actually burns a lot hotter than the natural gas that we run through our homes for like our stoves and things like that. So you could actually get the heat or the torches a lot hotter, and that's why we used an oxypropane for our titanium. The melting point of titanium is a lot higher than that of other semi-precious metals, and so if we actually were working on titanium, that's probably what we would use. But like I said, we were not able to actually do any fabricating or sizing on titanium because the company that I worked for did not want to have to pay out if we screwed it up. So, I've also known several different people who have done like spot welding. They have like these pin spot welders that a lot of jewelry shops have. And there's this trend where they have like permanent jewelry. And so you have like a bracelet or like an ankle bracelet or something like that. And they solder it together so there isn't a clasp. And they use those types of welders. They're like tiny, tiny welders. They don't even get that hot to affix those to people's wrists. So I mean, that's another use for things like that, I think. Whoops, this one. Some relative of mine was an optician. He had a hydrozone generator which split water into hydrogen and oxygen and sent both to the torch. Very small, pointy, very hot flame. I think there were colorants added to the flame to be visible. A pure hydrogen flame is clear, I think. It definitely is. When heat gets really, really hot, it does get clear. All right, now that we've got a nice tip on that, we're going to come back, square this out, and then next heat, I'm going to move over to the horn so that we can move material relatively fast. And I might actually change out the hammer too. I haven't decided yet. This guy, it's a little bit light for the thickness of material that I currently am using. Normally I would use a 3-pounder, which is this guy right here. It's my favorite hammer, but it does tire me out prematurely. So I don't know, maybe I'll switch and we'll see if I can, or how long I can maintain it. Like I said, if we don't finish this rose today, I will we'll keep working on it on Monday. So yeah, it'll be, so today's stream lasts until 5 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow's stream, I think it's going to be about 2:30 Eastern for like an hour and a half-ish, depending on my cell phone battery, because that's what we're going to be streaming from. And then back to regularly scheduled streams on Monday. Unless when I start screaming at my ISP, they something happens and they actually try and fix it. But I'll keep you posted if that happens. Let's see. So, like I said, I have a new video that is going to be coming out on Wednesday of next week. And instead of actually being more of an informative video or even an interview video, I've been doing a lot of interviews lately. I'm actually doing a bit of a retrospective. So I've got some hip, boppy music, and we're going to kind of go through the past 8 months and kind of see where we've come from and where we're going. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It's one video, so if you don't enjoy it, then wait the next week and we'll be back to regularly scheduled videos. But I like it. I think it's pretty good. It is always really nice to look back and see where you've come from, especially when you are learning new things, because it's kind of like you draw something and then you keep on learning and practicing and growing, and then you come back years later, you take a look at the drawing, you redraw it, and then you can compare the two and see how far you've come. So that's kind of what I'm why I'm building the video that I am for next week. So I'm looking forward to sharing it. Hopefully you guys like it. It's also kind of a thank you to you guys, building the community. Flames seem to be greater than 2,800 Celsius. That is a very hot flame. A very hot flame. It's almost like the welder flaming, or the flames, or I guess the heat that you get out of a welder, like a stick welder or a plasma torch, because they're not really flames. It's more like it's electricity moving the electrons incredibly fast. So yeah, pretty darn hot. You can melt a lot of metal with that. I'm thinking that I'm going to keep going with under the horn, even though I'm going to be hammering on the horn. If that's not a good view, guys, let me know, and I will put it under the heel instead. Let's see if I can pull this out of here. So we've got some nice corners coming in here. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get some more heat. I can move a lot more material with the 3-pound hammer, but the problem with it is that it's just so heavy that it's so much effort for me. So I used to be able to hammer with this thing for like 8 hours a day, and now it's like it's so hard. Still growing, I guess, my stamina. But I mean, I'm just happy to be out here, so, you know. So like I said, I am really, really looking forward to going to Indiana today. Or yes, today. It is the day that I'm going to Indiana. um, so yeah, I already have 2 videos lined up. So I am gonna do another overview of the conference itself, so that you guys can see a little bit more that you don't get to see during the stream, because it's gonna be so short. I also have a interview lined up with the principal speaker. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And we'll see if we can't find any other people that we can interview. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to going and, you know, seeing what we can find in things. It should be a fun time, an exhausting time, but a fun time. So, like I said, tomorrow is going to be a full day. The conference starts at 8 a.m., which is why we're leaving today. And so dinner starts at 5 p.m. So that's when the last, it's about the same time that the last demo ends. So we will probably be leaving at about 5:30 p.m. Their time, which I believe is Eastern. And so we'll probably be getting home around 10, 11 p.m. at night. So I'm going to be so tired on Sunday. I think I'm just going to sleep all day. But it will definitely be worth it. It'll be so much fun, fellowshipping with blacksmiths and, you know, having fun. And I'm really excited to share it with you guys. All right. Let's do another heat. But you can't miss the dinner. I mean, we might stay for the dinner, but it kind of depends on how I'm feeling. I have to stay until the dinner, because that's about the time that I'm going to get my interview. But I might be really exhausted. So we'll see. The other thing is, I believe it's actually a potluck. And I really don't have a good way to bring a dish, you know? I only know conferences in company different fields, but conference dinners are the best part. Good food, but also networking and chatting. Yeah, I mean, they are amazing networking places. But like I said, it definitely depends on how I'm feeling and how my partner is feeling, because one of the bad side effects of being a metal worker and looking at fire all the time is that it kind of damages your eyes a little bit. So I am partially night blind. I can't drive at night. And so it's a 4.5 hour drive. And so my partner's got to do that whole drive by himself. And so it depends on how we're both feeling. I would love to go to the banquet, but we'll see. We'll see if I can do it. I refrigerated my water today, and it's really cold. I'm not used to having as cold a water when I'm forging, because usually it's like I don't think ahead and fill my water bottles prior to, you know, coming out here, it's usually the last thing I do before I turn on the stream is like fill up a water bottle. So it's like straight out of the tap. Well, I guess not straight out of the tap because we do have a water purifier, but it's straight out of the water purifier. So it's whatever temperature comes out of the sink. Can't stay another night. See, that's the deal, right? I would stay another night, but I have to stay in a hotel, and I have a very limited budget. I would very much like to purchase a piece of equipment at the conference that we can kind of take a look at and rebuild. And if I took another night to stay in a hotel, I would not be able to afford that because we have a shoestring budget. Since I'm not actually making any money off of the YouTube or the stream yet, I mean, I'm making a little bit off the stream, but the money I'm making off the stream is kind of it's kind of a drop in the bucket. It costs me about $25 every week that I use propane, and I make about $50 every 2 months from Twitch right now. So, I mean, I am so grateful for all of you who, donate and subscribe and give bits. That is incredible, and I am so grateful for that. But I mean, it's kind of a hobby still, you know. So thank you guys for your support. But yeah, greetings, Ping. Welcome in. Truth, I had 2013 vision before I started blacksmithing 6 years ago. It's gone to crap since then. Exactly, man. Greetings, Ping. Hello. I see. A drop in the bucket is how you say that in English. The German is a drop on the hot stone. I mean, yeah, kinda. But, the drop in the bucket, it's like you got a whole bucket full of water and then, you got one drop and, you know. So it's not a lot. But I mean, I still love doing this, and we do have money to continue working on the stream and the YouTube, and it's building, it's growing, and eventually, I have full faith that it will grow big enough that we'll be able to monetize on like YouTube as well as more monetization on Twitch. And I'll be able to get like sponsors and things like that. So I'm not worried. It'll come, but it's going to take time. And so, yeah. Thank you all for your support now, though. Steel a Rose stream. Yes, please. Welcome in, Lost Viking. Yeah, we're doing a Steel Rose. I have this kit. So it's a pre-cut pedal kit. So you can buy these at a bunch of different blacksmithing supply stores. I actually bought this, or it was given to me actually about 7 years ago at the Upper Midwest Blacksmith Association conference up in Wisconsin. And I've just never got around to finishing this kit. So I figured, it's a good thing to do. It'll be fun. So right now we're working on the stem. And if we don't finish today, we will start, we'll finish it on Monday when we come back. So welcome in. Thank you so much for all of your support and your viewership. Let's see. Whoa. There is a proverb, the drop which makes the barrel overflow, but that's the one thing that is finally too much and causes something to escalate or tip over. Yeah, it's like every drop, every little bit of support that you guys give me, whether that is, just viewership or monetization or, tips and suggestions, any support, will help the stream and the YouTube build and build and build. And eventually, I will get, the support that I need, So thank you all. It'll eventually work out. All right, I'm gonna do another heat. All I have to say is this is the best job that I've ever had. I may not be being paid for it, but it is so much fun. Yeah. Miss hit. All right, back in the fire. Oh, oh, the English version is the straw that breaks the camel's back. Right, I haven't heard that. So yeah, straw that broke the camel's back. The drop that overflowed the bucket. I mean, those are relatively comparable, it sounds like to me, you know? I am a fan of the pedal kits. I've cut my own pedals a number of ways, but the hammer work after cutting makes 10 times the difference. So why not use pre-cut? Yeah, I totally agree. And that's kind of why I was given this kit, kind of, you know, because at the conference, I had brought a couple of roses that I had made, and I cut the petals by hand myself. And so the vendor, I showed them to the vendor, and he's like, "Ooh, you should try these." And I really like them. They are a little bit on the thick side. Like, I think this is about, I would say about 3 or 4 millimeters in thickness, which is about 1/8 of an inch thickness on this steel. Normally, I use a 20 gauge sheet, and 20 gauge is, I guess that's kind of, I don't know if that's like an English standard or if that is a metric standard or just a standard measurement for sheet steel. But yeah, I use about a 20 gauge sheet, and I cut them out using a Beverly shear. And a Beverly shear, it's a giant scissors with like a giant lever, and it's really easy to cut with. So that's how I normally make mine. So they're really, really thin petals. I'm interested to see what I can do with these guys. I want to take the cross peen and put vertical marks on the petal. So like so. So it should kind of make them a little bit ripply and widen them out a little bit. And I think that'll make them a little bit more lifelike. At least that's the plan. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I will ruin it. You never know. But fun is fun, right? That's what we're doing. We're just having fun. Rockbush Studio, thank you so much for that follow. I greatly appreciate it. So 2 days ago, I got a follow, and or I guess maybe yesterday. No, it was yesterday. I got a follow, and I didn't stream yesterday, so I think they probably came from YouTube. Anyway, that was my 200th follower. So you make my 201st follower. I don't know why, but it didn't update my goals like I told it to. So I guess I've now broken my goal, and I want to thank you guys for that. Thank you so much for your continued support. I mean, I will tout you guys, and you know, thank you all from the bottom of my heart until I can't anymore. You know, thank you so much. You're welcome. Interesting stuff. Yeah. I try to make it interesting at least. I am already done with my water for today. That was really, really fast, but it's really, really warm in here today. All right. So I'm a little bit worried about this propane tank today. This is the same propane tank that I bought like 2 weeks ago. And because we were working on fabrication, I haven't used it. So I think this is day 3, maybe 4 on this tank. So I'm not sure. It might freeze up on us. And if so, I'll have to change it. I'm not sure though. You know what? It helps when you are, trying to drink out of the correct side of your water. All right, let's do another heat. First, let me take a look at my video, though. I want to make sure that I'm getting... Okay, there's that. And I haven't missed that much on my close-up cam. That's good. Okay, let's do another heat. All right. We are getting some really good movement. So I'm going to come over here to the flat and I'm going to straighten this out just a little bit. I kind of want to see how much we've grown. So when I started, this was about 6 inches long. And honestly, we're closing in on doubling that length. So that's really exciting. So we're going to continue to thin out this bottom section here all the way up through this round section so that we have a really nice thin stem on this rose. Whew. Tired already. I might have to switch hammers. So those of you that are a little bit on the new side, I actually, I'm recovering from, well, I guess I'm not even recovering because I have a chronic illness. And, so I'm kind of training my body to be able to handle blacksmithing again. In 2020, I got really, really ill, and that illness has never really gone away. So, I've been working very hard over the past 8 months to, keep on keeping on out here, and it's working. It's definitely working. But it's a challenge. It's hard work, and sometimes I have to change hammers to a lighter hammer. Rockbrush Studios, Nose Ping, excellent. I love when our community grows and friends join us. Congratulations, nothing better for functional strength. Yeah, and I mean, it's therapeutic, really, or occupational therapy, I guess. I'm kind of trying to train my body just to be able to stand using the hammer and the repetitive motion. So I have the strength. I've never really lost the strength that I had, but it's the longevity and the stamina. I just can't handle aerobic stress as well as I used to be able to. So we're getting there. It's coming. And we have an ad going, so I'm not sure who is able to hear and who's not. But that's all right. I think I'll do 1 or 2 more heats with this guy, and then maybe we'll move to the other hammer. Okay. Because we're going to need to save this hammer for when we get to the pedals so that we can get those vertical cross peen marks in there. All right, let's do another heat. I really love when the forge finally gets up to temperature and I can get a lot more work out of a shorter time in the forge. All right, let's get some more heat on there. We'll thin that out. And pretty soon we're going to have to turn this over and start going from this side. Drawing out from that side. How long have you been streaming? I have been streaming since the middle of November of last year. So I've only really been streaming for about 8 months. I made affiliate in January. So I've been an affiliate for about 6 months. And I'm working hard towards partner. I doubt that will happen this year, but I'm hoping by the middle of next year I can hit partner. This time I do not seem to get ads. Last time I had 3 for clips, which is a lot. Normally on Twitch I have 1 or 2, probably a good sign from your perspective. I mean, you know, lately Twitch has been changing a little bit lately. I know that like when I watch streamers, I watch Giga, who is a VTuber. She does a lot of variety gaming and just chatting content, and lately the ads for her channel are, because like normally, you know, when ads play, like the channel goes into the little section at the top, and the ad plays. Lately the ad has been the little thing in the corner, and the stream keeps going. So, and I mean, I always watch on the computer, so I don't know anything about how mobile works, but yeah, it's kind of different. And I mean, there's also like the banner ads, and those also take down the amount of ads that you have to watch. So I don't know. I know that Twitch has been changing how they monetize lately, so I don't know. It might have something to do with that. I am going to, you might be able to hear, but I just raised my garage door to kind of try and get a little bit of more cross flow from the door over there. I might actually have to turn on the fan too in a little bit. I have seen both today on your stream. I think the ad in the little picture is new. Yeah, that's like, it's only been happening the last couple weeks. It's weird. I like it though, because it's like, I want to keep watching the stream, and then, you know, if the little, you know, the little picture is the ad, I don't mind that, you know. But I like being able to see the streamer the whole time. And I only have 1 Prime subscription, so, you know. I have Turbo. I couldn't handle the ads as much as I watch Twitch. Turbo is really nice. but I personally don't actually watch as much or enough Twitch to justify Turbo. I only watch a few channels here and there. I mean, I watch the channels of a lot of the people that we raid off to. I watch Yankee sometimes. I do watch Giga, but mostly, you know, I'm just watching, you know, our friends, you know, in the community. So I guess I don't feel like I have quite enough uh, viewership to justify Turbo right now. Same, love Turbo. I mean, I still get paid for you guys who have Turbo. So, I mean, it's no skin off my teeth. I like that you guys can see the whole time, you know? I forgot to change the camera, didn't I? Oh, well, I will change the camera for the next heat. I also kind of think it's good every once in a while for me to show you guys the wide on, you know, during a heat so you guys can kind of see my posture when I'm hammering. I had 3 or 4 full screen ads and one little picture, I think. Your VOD will stay on your channel for 60 days. Yeah, I mean, that is a nice thing for Turbo, but because I am trying to drive traffic between my YouTube and my Twitch, I post all my VODs on YouTube, and when I post them on YouTube, they stay forever, or at least until I take them down. So there are actually VODs from January up on my YouTube. You probably don't want to watch them because they're really bad, but they're there. So there's a part of me that's like, you know, I have Prime, so you've got 30 days to watch my VODs on my channel, but any longer than that, maybe, you know, YouTube. So it is what it is, kind of, you know? I mean, the advantage of watching my VODs on my Twitch channel is that you get to watch them like immediately. Whereas I don't post my VODs onto YouTube until the next business day. So today's VOD won't actually be posted until Monday. So I will be posting 2 VODs on Monday. It'll be today's VOD and then Saturday's VOD from Indiana. So, you know. And like I said, I do want to kind of drive traffic between both my Twitch and my YouTube. And it is kind of, you know, back and forth. I am getting people from the YouTube to the Twitch, and I think that, you know, it's great because that's how both sides of it grow. Do you find you get lots of YouTube traffic? I've been procrastinating posting my vids to YouTube. So the thing with YouTube is that I didn't see any traffic, like hardly anything, for the first 3 months. And because I think it's because YouTube the algorithm kind of has to pick up your content and kind of understand what you're putting out so that it can push it to the correct viewers. And I mean, I am still only getting about 1,000 views on my shorts, and I'm getting about 300 views on my long form videos. My VODs sometimes get that same amount of traffic, sometimes they get less. It's kind of variable. But the thing with YouTube is that it takes a lot of time to gain traction and community. I would not suggest paying people to edit your content and to edit it yourself, at least for the first little while on a YouTube, it's just not going to pump out enough money to cover that back. Same. I mean, it's really it's not that much, you know, extra effort for me. But I mean, I am a full-time content creator. You know, if I'm not streaming actively, I am editing a video content, I am planning my next project, I am producing, you know, my next segment, or, you know, I did spend an entire day getting ready for Indiana tomorrow, and, you know, things like that. So if you have you know, like a real job, it might be a little bit harder for you. But I mean, if I was you, I would just post, or, you know, just download your VODs and post them unedited, uncut to YouTube and see what happens, you know? I leave it there, only looking to help. Oh, yeah. I missed a thing. Let me look on the actual Twitch. Understand, but you do get paid for VOD views, and Protestant advertisers will AI scan them. Oh, potentially. Interesting. I mean, I knew that I got paid for the VODs, because every once in a while I earn a couple pennies here and there on days that I'm not streaming. So I knew that I was earning from it, but I guess I didn't realize that the ad, or like potential ad people, scan them. So I mean, maybe I do need to get Turbo. I have the high-res copies saved from OBS for each stream. I will have to start YouTube uploading them. Yeah, I mean, the YouTube algorithm, it's like, it's kind of, it's not amazing, but the longer you do it, the more it will start pushing your videos out. So if you never start, then you never have that revenue stream potential. So it's always good to post things onto all the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, anything that anything that you can do. And when I say this, I'm saying this as a do as I say, not as I do, because I'm really good at Twitch, I'm really good at YouTube, but I am horrible at Instagram, and I haven't even started posting onto TikTok. So, you know, like I said, it's do as I say, not as I do. Pays for my Turbo, honestly, but I have long form content. Interesting. All right, I'm going to do another heat real fast, because we do need to keep on moving on this so that we can get a chance of finishing over the next 2 days, or streams, I guess. All right. I think I'm getting a bit of a adrenaline rush going here. I'm going to sleep good tonight. All right, I think I'm going to do 1 or 2 more heats on this direction, and then I'm going to flip the piece and start working on the other end of it, and that's what we're going to turn into our rivet, so we're gonna size it so that we can stick the other end of the rose through here. We're kind of gonna do a mortise and tenon kind of thing. You and I started Twitch about the same time. I started in August of last year, made affiliate in November. Cool. Yeah. And I mean, it's actually been quite a ride. I've actually had a lot of fun on Twitch. When I started in November, I didn't expect to get anybody to actually watch. I was just kind of, it was something to do while I was working towards increasing my stamina. And it was kind of one of those things where I had a little bit of accountability if I streamed it. And then Yankee rated me for that first time. And ever since then, you know, it's been amazing. And the community has just grown. And I'm so glad and grateful for Yankee's raid, you know? Same, makers and crafting people have been amazing. They have been amazing. I get raids all the time and people shout me out, and you know, it's been amazing. The people here are so kind and so nice. And honestly, before I started streaming, I didn't actually watch anybody on Twitch. And since I started streaming, you know, it's brought me into the Twitch community as a whole. Because I want to support my fellow creators. I want to support the people who support me. And it's been a fun ride. I've had a blast. Yes, shout out to Yankee. Curie raided you as well a few times. Yes, I mean, Curie's raids have also been instrumental in building the community. And she's also been there for me when I have had technical issues, and you know, she's also been there to kind of, you know, calm me down when I have, you know, when I'm stressing out about things. Everybody is just so kind and so giving and generous, and everybody has been beautiful. I've had so much fun here. You would probably like the Macrame channel. They are great at helping new streamers. They promote a lot. Curie and Designated by Joe are great people. Yes. I mean, the entire community is amazing. I felt so welcome. So, you know, without the other members of the makers and crafters community, I would still have 3 viewers or like 0 viewers, you know? I guess 1 viewer because, you know, when you're monitoring your own stream, you get 1 viewer. So, yeah. Picnic 21, thank you for that follow. I missed it 11 minutes ago, but thank you so much for joining our community. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we've got a hot piece of metal, so let's do another heat. They are so loud, shouting out all the time. Yes. Shoutouts are awesome. So are raids. All right. Okay,
So I'm actually really liking that stem. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and it's going to be a little bit harder to, obviously, to hang onto with this particular set of tongs. So I am going to attempt to pick this up and stick it back on the anvil. Okay. Fine. The whole point was I was going to change tongs, and apparently I just needed to change tongs. All right, here we go. Let's heat this back up. Goodness gracious. But yeah, I've been so welcomed into the community. I feel like because I started streaming here, I kind of have a huge advantage that gaming streamers don't really have. That, like I said, or like everyone has said, the community is so welcoming here in Makers and Crafters. And I don't feel like it's quite that same amount of, openness and helpfulness in some of the gamer spaces. There was a time a couple years ago that I had thought about streaming games. Because back then I didn't have any stamina at all, and I wanted to do something, something to get me out of bed in the morning, and I thought streaming might be it. I ended up not doing it at the time, finding some other things to do. Like I wrote music for a while, and what else I started a book. I got about 40 pages into a book, and then I put it down, and I haven't picked it back up again. This is really the only thing that's stuck for me. And I have you guys to thank for that, keeping me accountable, keeping encouraging me, and, making it happen. It is so hot. I'm going to turn the fan on real fast, so I will be right back. While I'm over here, I'm going to I'm going to flip the clips on these cameras. There we go. So hot. And I'm still here. I'm right behind the camera. I just need to turn on a fan. There we go. Much more better. Let's move this over here so it's not blowing directly on the anvil. Nothing worse than having the fan blow directly on my anvil and cooling off the piece before I even have a chance to move the metal. It is so humid today. I feel like the temperature itself is relatively pleasant. Like I think it's in the mid 70s, but like the amount of humidity in the air, because it was just storming this morning, is unreal. And so the heat from the forge is heating all of that liquid in the air, and it's so I am sweating so bad. I'm gonna need to take a shower before we leave. Which normally I would anyway, but All right, let's take another heat. I'm really gonna need to take a shower before we leave. Yep, connection issues. I'm having A little bit of lag, guys. I'm really sorry about that. It looks like OBS has reconnected. What is happening? I think I'm back. Hold you accountable. Okay, I'm German. So let's make it a, oh wow. That is a really long word, which obligates you to stream at specific times or get fined. Rules are allowed. So schlimm. Okay, it looks like I am back. So I apologize for the little drop. Like I said, it's a little bit stormy still today. That's why it's so humid. So my internet connection is a little bit eh. Hopefully it holds out. Okay. What was I gonna say? I was saying something and I forgot because OBS decided it was gonna disconnect and then reconnect. Brains. So normal. What was I saying? I don't know. I forgot what I was saying, guys. I'll come up with something else. I'm ahead of going to happy hour with my mom one last time before I move to Australia next week. Oh, have fun. Yeah, I mean, I definitely go visit your mom. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you later. So I think what I was actually saying was I am from the Midwest. I am within an hour of St. Louis, Missouri. So I am right along the Mississippi River, just north. So yeah, north of Alabama, but still along the Mississippi. So I've got an ad incoming shortly. So I'm gonna wait for that ad time, or I'm gonna wait out that ad timer, and then we'll do another heat. And yeah, we'll keep on going with this. Thanks. Oh yeah, lots of humidity in the Midwest. Yeah, it's definitely very humid. So I'm actually located in a pretty centralized location for blacksmithing. I'm actually within 4 hours of the Upper Midwest Blacksmith Association, the Missouri Blacksmith Association, and the Indiana Blacksmith Association. So once I go this weekend, I will be a member of all three. So that's actually pretty exciting. Lots and lots of blacksmiths. Lots and lots of fellowship. All right, so I have about an hour left in the stream before my hard stop. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get a good amount of this flour done. We've gotten quite a lot of drawing and stretching, so I'm really happy with that. I think the thing that might take us a little bit of extra time is creating the rivet at the top of our flour. And we may end up having to work on the pedals a little bit on Monday. So we will definitely finish this flour on Monday before we move on to our next project. But yeah, and then I'll have to figure out what we're going to do next. My partner says I should actually take you to show you. So I have an outdoor anvil. It is a 120-pound Harbor Freight special from about 15 years ago, and when they actually had full-size anvils. But it's been sitting outside for about 5 years unused, and so there is a nice crust of rust on the top. So my partner said what I should do for stream is show you how I would reface it. So I don't know, we might do some of that. Nice. I've got an Abana chapter here in Alabama, but it was a little sleepy the last time I went. Might have just been the times I visited. I mean, some are smaller than others. Like the Upper Midwest Blacksmith Association is only really a handful of people. They're relatively small, but the Missouri Blacksmith Association was quite a bit bigger. And I have yet to see how Indiana is. So, I mean, some are smaller, some are larger. But Abana as a whole has a lot of members and chapters, and there's always someone you can reach out to. So they also have a Abana affiliate locator on the Abana website. So you can go to the Abana website and type in your zip code, and it'll show you the nearest blacksmith or Abana affiliate. So, I mean, maybe something to try out. Anvil refacing stream. Love that idea. Yeah, I mean, I have 2 YouTube videos on refacing hammers. So I think it's fair to do a stream on, resurfacing an anvil. So, that might be one of our next streams, especially because I want to get out to the outdoor side of the stream so I can do more coal forging. I don't have a good flume in here so that the smoke for the coal can't exit my garage or my shop. So I have to use it outside so that I don't need the flume. And so I need to use the outdoor anvil. So, it gets us one step closer to being able to use that coal forge that we just made. All right, let's do another heat on this stem. So I want to do a couple more heats on here to thin this out just a little bit further, and then we'll move on to this area right here. This is the area that we're going to create that tenon, and so that we can kind of size it to this hole right here, and then we can build our rose petals on top. So once we've got this rivet in here, we'll probably we will take a look at those petals and shape those too. So exciting, exciting. So yeah, we might be doing an anvil refacing stream. There's also a chance that we will do some equipment repair streams. And I definitely want to get out I definitely want to finish up the last 2 little jobs that I got to do for the coal forge so that we can get that out. Because once we get the coal forge out, then I want to make hammers and axes. And then, so I'm really looking forward to those projects. I want to be making a hammer or an axe before the end of July. I want to have one finished. Very cool. Yes. So if I can manage to get an axe head done, you know, maybe we can talk to Yankee about having it handled, because I am terrible at woodworking. You guys do not want to see me woodworking. If I have to do the axe handle, it's going to be one of the store-bought ones, you know? They don't even make those out of hickory half the time, you know? But I definitely want to make a axe head, and I want to make my own hammer. So I've kind of got a little bit of I'm kind of trying to figure out logistically how I want to do that, because I don't think I want to hand do those. I think I want to use the press, but the press is inside here. So I got to figure out if I can get enough heat that I can rush between the coal forge outside into the shop and the press in here. So, and then I also have to figure out if I have the cameras to do that as well. Sweet, I've made an axe in a propane forge, and it was way too snug to be fun. Solid fuel forge is the way, definitely. What about the punches drift tooling with the handles, or was it drifting or drafting? It is drifting. And that will definitely be the first project that I have to do. I will have to make a drift before I can make a hammer or an axe. So it's kind of the tools to make tools thing, right? This guy right here is a set of tongs that I made when I wanted to, you know, work on that kind of thing. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. We got to make them tools. Also, hey, welcome in, Boston. Welcome in. So, Icy said that, or no, what am I? Frosty said that there is like a hammer type thing that I might be able to buy at a local tool store. So I'm not sure. We might be able to buy something that will make it a little bit easier for us. We'll see. It is hammer time. It is hammer time. Let's do another heat. All right. So if we look at this, we got a little bit of a twist there. I'm not terribly worried about that right now. It is still a little bit thicker, but I think I want to start working on that tenon soon. So I think I'm going to do one more heat working on this section just to kind of thin it down a little bit more, and then we're going to work on that tenon at the tip. So one more heat on the stem, and then we're going to start working on shaping the tenon so that it'll go through all of the little holes in our kit. So this should be really, really fun. Lost Viking, thank you so much for that subscription. Thank you so, so much. I greatly appreciate that. And I will have to update my ending screen to, I like to put all of my subscribers' names on my ending screen. So I will add your name. I am starting to run low on water again. So what that means is that I need to take a trip into the house to the refrigerator. So I will be right back. Give me half a second. So much. I need to replace my electrolytes and salt. So he bought me a whole bunch of Gatorade. So that's what we're going to drink once we're done with our water. Can't have too many blacksmiths on Twitch. Exactly. More blacksmiths on Twitch. You know, there are so many there are so many gamers on Twitch for different games. Why aren't there as many blacksmiths, right? As far as I'm concerned, every blacksmith should, you know, can stream on Twitch if they like. Everybody has their own ways of doing things, and I like watching people, you know. All right. Do I have enough heat? I think I do. Let's do our last heat on the stem, and then we will work on the tenon so we can attach our pedals. All right, I got a little bit of twisting going on, so I'm gonna hammer back on our corners. That way we can kind of straighten it back up. Keep those 90s. All right, back in the heat. Whew. Very warm. I'm also starting to get a little bit worn down, so I think that my partner will be doing most of the driving out to Indiana. All right. So I have about 40 minutes until I have my hard out today, because I still have to pack all of the gear. All of the gear that I use for the stream is coming with us, so I have to pack all of that, and then we need to leave. And I'm hoping that we can leave by 6 o'clock my time, 6 o'clock my time. Because, you know, we're going to be getting there at like 10, 11, and because it's in Eastern time zone. No, I think it'll be all right. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, but I really, really want to finish the stem, so that way we can work on the pedals almost exclusively on Monday. We might have a little bit of tweaking to do on that stem in the beginning of the stream, but fingers crossed it'll be all pedals all the time on Monday. Hi, welcome in, Usa. Welcome in, welcome to the stream. I'm Ray, I'm a blacksmith. I like to stream on Twitch. Today we are making a rose, and I'm working on the stem right now. I kind of have a kit. Whoops. So I bought this with I bought this kit of already punched out or cut out, I guess, pieces of steel in the shape of petals for a rose. And so I want to put this guy together. I've had this kit for about 7 years, and I feel like, it's time. It's time to put it together. So that's what we're doing today. This is my first time here. I like blacksmithing. That's why I clicked on it. Well, welcome to the stream. Welcome to Ray's Smithy. Welcome to Twitch. Welcome to the community. We have so many blacksmiths in our community. So, if you're looking for blacksmiths, you have found a few. Some of them. Better stream on Twitch than Twitch on stream. Exactly. Definitely. I don't know what I would do if I was watching someone stream and they started like having a seizure. I think that would be scary for me. I think I would be like, mods, help them. But yeah, I don't know what I would do if I, wasn't able to help them. I feel like I would feel helpless. So yes, better to Twitch or to stream on Twitch than Twitch on stream. I've thought of that, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should, give you a way to like help me if, something happens. Overall, I am usually pretty safe around here. I'm very overly conscious about the fire and making sure that everything is safe or as safe as it can be. But I mean, you never know. Yeah, maybe so. So we'll figure it out. All right, I'm gonna do another heat real fast. I had that thought already. In some cases, I know enough about them to do. Am I back? Okay. And we're dropping some more. I was back for like 3 seconds. Maybe I'm back again. I don't know. Am I dropping frames? It looks like I am back again. Maybe? Yes, you are back. Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for sticking around. Refresh if you haven't and need to. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. I'm really sorry, guys. I will talk to my internet service provider on Monday and be like, hey, what's the deal? And I specifically want to, talk to somebody, a person, because they've started advertising to me on YouTube about how you can stream games and video call and live stream all at the same time, and that is not my experience. They're going to be advertising that, then they need to follow through. So yes, I'm going to be calling them. I know somebody who works there. I'm going to ask him. Ahoy! Hey, Jack! You can do all at the same time, just not all the time, right? And I feel like it's my specific street sometimes. I don't know. But welcome in, Jack. We're kind of toward the tail end of my stream today because I have a hard out at 5 p.m. Eastern because I'm going to the IBA conference and I'm leaving tonight. So, the Indiana Blacksmith Association, because I'm going to go to as many of these conferences as possible. Yeah. So, yes, thank you guys so much for sticking around. We're going to see if I can't finish this them in the next like 20 minutes or so. 30 minutes. Nice, you had a lot of fun. I did have a lot of fun. I had so much fun at the BAM conference. And I mean, I learned a lot. I talked to a lot of different people. And so I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to take you guys with me. So I will be streaming tomorrow at about 1:30, whatever time zone I'm on. So if that's 1:30 Central, it's right outside of Indianapolis. So I'm not sure if that's Central or if it's Eastern. But I'm going to try and stream at 1:30, whatever time zone that is. Let me look that up real fast. We'll look that up. And then once we look that up, I will do another heat. Indiana time zone. Eastern. Okay. So at 1:30 Eastern, I will be streaming. Pretty sure Indiana is Eastern. I thought it was, but it's not that far away from me, and because I'm in Central, I got confused a little. So yes, at 1:30 Eastern, I will probably be streaming. Well, not probably. I will be streaming for probably about an hour, hour and a half-ish. So that is the plan. Let's do another heat real fast. While I have you guys. Hey. Pain in the butt. But yeah, if I stream at 1:30, then that gives me plenty of time to eat lunch and stuff. Hey. It's twisting on me. So let's correct the twist while we can. Alright. Let's give ourselves another heat. But first, let's see how far we have to go. Ooh, nice. We're pretty close already. So I like the tip of this. We just need to bring it back. Let's do that. I feel like if you feel like planning a trip, the one you should keep an eye out on is Quad State. Ohio is the Eastern cutoff at 99.1% sure. I do want to go to Quad State. Like I am planning on it. There is a chance that I will not be able to make it, but the goal is to get there. Because that's this fall. Most of Indiana is in the Eastern time zone except 12 counties in northwest and southwest Indiana that have remained or changed to Central time zone. 50-50, I guess. Interesting. So I will be outside of Indianapolis, so I do believe that's Eastern time. I'm pretty sure when we Googled the directions that Google said that it was, that there was a time zone change. So I will lose an hour on the way there. Thanks, Ping. I thought it was something like that. Definitely. I did the Google, but, Google just said it was Eastern. So, not specifics. But yes, I will be streaming at 1:30 Eastern, even though I normally stream at 2:30 Eastern. And if I change to 2:30 Eastern, I will keep you posted in the Discord when I know things. So if you would like to join the Discord, there is a link on the channel page. But that's where I try to keep people, apprised of what's happening. 1 hour is nothing for a Time Lord. Yes, 1 hour is nothing. All right, so I am out of water now. So we are up to Gatorade. The Gatorade. I feel like I'm not really a big fan of Gatorade. I like the red and the blue, but I don't know. They're kind of weird flavored. And they're really not that healthy for you. There's a lot of sugar in them. Kudos on the hydration discipline. Oh man, I got kidney stones one summer when I was smithing out here for like 8 hours for like 3 months. It was the most excruciating pain I have ever felt, and I refuse to allow that to happen again. Our second centuries, no concept of importance for Ray. I can just move it all around. I'm gonna, split people's sentences and make them say things, That is something that you kind of have to do when you are editing videos, because a lot of times people will start a sentence and then halfway through the sentence, they'll start talking about something completely different. So then you have to find where they finish their thought and bring them together so it's coherent for people watching. So, I do my best not to change what people are saying, but I kind of reorder things. Stuttering again. Yeah, we're stuttering again. What's happening? This time it's my whole internet. Okay, so this time it's my whole internet. I think it's coming up again. But like my download speed is like horrible right now. Are we doing all right now? Can you guys see me? Sound is back, but the video is a slideshow. That is not surprising, to be quite honest. Like I said, it's my whole internet. It decided that it's going to kick me down to like 5 megabits per second, which is really horrible for streaming. Am I still stuttering? It says I'm all right. Hear yes, but not see. Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna end the stream now, just because it's being stupid, and we don't have all that much time left. Okay, you see me. All right. So yeah, I think that I should probably end the stream because I think it's gonna be really in and out, because we're getting a little bit of wind. I will call my ISP on Monday, but we'll probably be able to finish the finishing touches on that stem and we'll do the petals on Monday. So I think, like I said, I think I'm going to end the stream while I am still up. That way I can raid off. And I will see you guys tomorrow or Monday. So if I don't see you tomorrow, have an amazing weekend. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. All right, let's see. Who do we have? Who can we raid to? Let's see. Who is up today? Pyriferous is up today. Do we want to raid Pyriferous? If I can, get up the raid screen. We're being really, really slow today. Super slow. All right. We are starting our raid. I think. Maybe. Probably. Have a great weekend, guys, and I will see you either tomorrow or Monday.